All right, let's just get right into it. If you have ever, even once, applied to be cabin crew, you know about the group task. You know the one I'm talking about. It's that part of the interview that's super competitive, a little confusing, and, let's be honest, incredibly stressful. You're in a room full of other candidates, you all get one problem to solve, and everybody is trying to be the one who stands out.
The pressure is just massive, right? And the big question that's on everyone's mind is pretty simple. In a room full of people who want this job just as much as I do, how do I make sure I'm the one the recruiters remember for all the right reasons? How do you actually win this thing?
Now, most people, they walk into that room with a very specific strategy. They're convinced that the secret to success is to be the smartest person there, to come up with the most amazing, the most creative, the absolute perfect solution to whatever challenge they're given. But what if I told you that whole belief is just wrong?
So yeah, let's tackle this head on. We're going to call this the group task myth, because I'm telling you, it is the single biggest misunderstanding that sends so many talented candidates home way too early.
And here it is. This is the core secret you really need to understand. The recruiters, they don't actually care that much about the final answer your group comes up with. Nope. They are watching something totally different. They're looking for teamwork. It's all about the process, not the shiny, perfect outcome.
So that kind of makes you wonder, why? Right? Why is the how you get there so much more important than the what? Well, to get that, we need to step inside the mind of a recruiter for a second and figure out what their real goal actually is. It's because the group task isn't just some random hurdle they're making you jump through. It's a simulation. I mean, think about it. Working at 35,000 feet in a metal tube requires an incredible amount of collaboration, and it's often under some serious pressure. Recruiters use this exercise to see exactly how you communicate, how you handle a disagreement, and if you can actually work with other people to get something done. They're looking for a future colleague, not a solo genius.
So now that we know this, we can draw a really clear line in the sand between the candidate who's going to fail and the candidate who's going to succeed. And it all comes down to their focus. Are they just trying to be perfect, or are they trying to be a great team player?
Let's really break this down. Over on the left, you've got the candidate who thinks they need to be the star of the show. They talk over everybody, they push their own idea like it's the only one that matters, and they might totally ignore the quieter people in the group. But on the right, that's the winning candidate. They actually listen. They ask questions like, "Hey, Sarah, what do you think about this?" They make sure everyone in the group feels heard. See the difference? They're building a bridge with the team, not just building a case for their own idea.
Okay, so we've busted the myth. We know what recruiters are actually looking for. Now, let's get to the practical stuff. What does successful teamwork actually look like when you're in that high-pressure room? How do you show them you've got it?
It really just boils down to a pretty simple four-step game plan. First, you've got to actively listen. I mean really listen, not just wait for your turn to talk. Second, encourage the other people in your group. A simple, "Hey, that's a great point," can make a world of difference. Third, keep an eye on the clock. Being the person who says, "Okay, team, we have about 5 minutes left, let's try to come to a decision," shows amazing leadership skills. And finally, stay positive. Even if people disagree, keep the energy constructive. Trust me, these are the actions that get you noticed.
So let's pull all of this together. Let's create a new mindset, a winning game plan that you can actually take with you into your next interview.
This is it. This is the single most important thing. I want you to burn this sentence into your memory. If you walk into that room with the goal of being the person who helps the group succeed, you are already light years ahead of your competition. Your whole approach is just going to shift for the better. All right, let's do a super quick recap of what we've covered. First, always remember that recruiters are testing how you work with other people, not just what you know. Second, your actions, listening to people, including them, watching the time, they speak so much louder than whatever final answer your group comes up with. And finally, collaboration isn't just some nice little bonus. In this situation, it is the absolute key to your success.
And that brings us to our final question, the one I really want you to take away from all this. It's not about what you're gonna say, it's about who you're gonna be. When that clock is ticking and everyone's talking at once, what kind of team member are you gonna choose to be? Your answer to that question, well, that's what's gonna determine